Hjalmar Winbladh, I'm the CEO of Rebtel.
Gervais Restaurant, authentic French cuisine in Silicon Valley.
A startup in the wireless space, a new kind of breed of operator. We're here, I mean, first of all, we decided for long ago to speak at this event. And,
always on.
Always on here, and at the same time we do a lot of networking with a lot of potential partners. After our launch, we have actually a lot of companies who would like to partner with us, and we would like to partner with a lot of companies. It's a good place to do it. We launched for 3 weeks ago, and we don't have the latest stats, but we had a tremendous uptake. The stats we have, and we had more than 10,000 users on the system now. And the interesting thing to see is that the mean holding time on our Rebtel calls are getting longer and longer, and they're past 10 minutes per call in average, which is, you know, far beyond the average of a mobile call. Rebtel, you can call as long as you want, as many calls as you want, to your international friends for as little as $1 a week. And just, you know, we're doing that by replacing international numbers to your friends, creating local numbers for you to call your global friends, and local numbers for your global friends to call you on. So we turn all international calls into local calls and bridge those local calls over the internet.
What can you do for someone like me who has 2 cell phones? Do I need to have 2 accounts?
No, actually not. In one account you can have up to 5 different numbers that you can use the service from. So you can definitely use both of your phones with one account, and therefore not being charged $2 a week. Massive cost saving for you now to be able to have one account for 2 phones.
50%.
Yeah. If you look at the industry, I think the mobile operators are the last dinosaurs of the IT industry today. They are having a view of their customers, which is a source of having someone to rip off and pay back their very inefficient way of running their business. So I think it's a great opportunity for new operators who would like to pass on the saving of VoIP technology to the customers, and really leveraging your investment that you have done and unfortunately been locked in for in your mobile phone and in a big bucket plan. To be able to use that bucket plan that you have for local minutes and the phone you got to do all your international calls for as little as $1 a week, unlimited. The way we're doing it is that we're actually not doing VoIP last mile, because that's carried out by the mobile operators in the wireless networks. So we're only using the backbone fiber, and we haven't seen any major issues in terms of quality in the backbone fiber. So I think those issues mostly probably is related to the last mile DSL or whatever you're using for HTML or broadband connectivity and so on. If you look at the service today, I mean, we just launched, it's very early data, but we launched simultaneously in 35 countries, and we're aiming at launching it in another 10 countries this year, covering pretty much the whole Western world, plus the major countries in South America, and we're launching Mexico in a couple of weeks now. What you can see with the site now in beta is only in English, so we're focusing our marketing efforts in English-speaking countries, which is the biggest countries in terms of the pickup. But the surprise for us is actually the Netherlands, who went from being one of the mid-tier size countries in terms of usage, and for some strange reasons in terms of wire and bus, actually went from number 20 or so in terms of the list of number of users in different countries to number 1 for a week ago. And we actually don't know really why, but I think that's the beauty of viral. I mean, it's for some reason it started to spread in one country, and we hit some communities or whatever that we don't really know about yet, because we haven't mined the data yet. But that was a surprise for us. I mean, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I depends how you count. It is my 4th or 5th startup, and I've always been very interested in mobility and the whole ecosystem around the mobile telephone systems and so forth. However, it's increasingly I think it's been very broken over the last couple of years, and I think the mobile operator missed out the opportunity to be more dynamic and invite for innovation from small companies. They've been so focused on just reaping the last dollar out of the customers for simple service as voice, and now they're going to pay for that. And in general, my background is that I was pioneering mobile internet back in the mid-90s, starting a company called Sendlt that actually helped the first GSM operator to launch mobile internet services back in 95, 96. We took the company public in 97, and it was acquired by Microsoft as I believe the first public company Microsoft acquired in Europe back in 99. And then I stayed at Microsoft a couple of years. And after that I decided to take a couple of years off.
Gervais Restaurant, authentic French cuisine in Silicon Valley.
I think it's part of your genes. I don't know, I mean it's just for me, what I like is to challenge. And this time I would like to challenge the mobile operators, because I think it's a big need for someone to go in and really pass on the savings of the latest technology to the end user in the mobile world, which is not something that the mobile operators intend to do. First of all, I think they're not going to react before it's too late. That's what I hope. I mean, these guys would never ever lower the price today just to defend themselves against a small startup. Even though, you know, we're launching in 3 times more countries than Vodafone has their service in, you know, we're starting from zero. But we are working with a business model and a technology that for them, they need to lower the price way below their cost structure to be able to even match our prices. I think in terms of coming from a small country like Sweden, you need to think international from day one. It's not the way that you say, first I'm going to build my business in Sweden, and then if it's a success there, I'm going to take it internationally. I mean, if you're serious about your business and you have global ambitions, you need to think about that from day one. While here, I think a lot of people think US first, or maybe even US only, and international is another kind of business. Here, I mean, it's, of course, in our business, in the IT business, it's very centralized around this area here, Palo Alto area and so forth. But in Europe, I think the networking thing is growing, it's getting better. I think it's a little bit more spread out across Europe, depends on what business you're in. And I think we're getting more and more serial entrepreneurs coming back doing business in Europe. But we don't have the same culture around entrepreneurship or history about entrepreneurship as we have in this area. For me, of course, it's easier to start in Sweden because I'm Swedish. But honestly, starting a business, it's not the major focus where you are. I think, first of all, you need to have a great business idea. You need to put a great team together who has a lot of passion, not only to just fulfill the initial business idea, but to fine-tune it and potentially even reinvent it. And then, of course, you need to think global from day one. And after that, I mean, locations, I think the people who complain about location probably doesn't have the right idea from the beginning then. So I don't think it's a major issue. I mean, think global from day one, and it's easier, I think, to think global if you come from a small place. Today the company is self-financed by me and mainly Jonas Lindroth, which is the co-founder of the company and the CTO of the company, who I started Sendlt with. And we are in the process to actually think through our capital needs for our company. We may do a round of financing later this year. For a serial entrepreneur who has a fairly good track record and do have some seed financing from your own resources, that helps a lot, of course. So for me and for Rebtel, I don't see that as an issue. But of course it's an issue for a lot of companies. But if you have the right business idea and you can prove it, and you have at least enough capital and willing to sweat it out yourself without selling for a while, then I think you will get financing, because it's a lot of money floating around looking for good ideas.
Okay. Tack. Tack.
Gervais Restaurant, authentic French cuisine in Silicon Valley.